Hello, everybody. Welcome into a Thursday edition of the Computer America Show. Ben and I got a great program planned for you tonight. For those of you who are tired of paying those cable TV bills, Tenderbox is here in the first hour. They make something called YouBeam, which basically lets you say goodbye to your cable company or satellite company. Information via the web. It's going to be a very interesting hour. Of course, hour two, Computer and Technology News, brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. So sit back, relax.
1 minute until showtime.
Enjoy the show. We'll be starting in less than 60 seconds.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello, and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And welcome into a Thursday edition of the Computer America Show. How was school today? Is it school day for you today, right, Ben? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you learn anything new?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm getting these flashbacks of being 6 and walking in the door and my mother saying, "Hi Ben, how was school? Did you learn anything?" And I look at her with big giant eyes and just say, "Yes, Mama." Flashbacks that should not be happening when I'm 23 and at work. It's weird.
I'm making up for lost time, I have to have that little parental thing going. Yeah, weird. Well, obviously you had a good day at school, and of course we had a great show planned for you tonight. In hour two, we're going to have Computer and Technology News, brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. And in hour one, for those of you who are getting tired of paying those cable bills or your satellite bills, an alternative way to get movies and TV, broadcast TV onto your large TV screen, but through a combination of hardware and software. Tenderbox is here tonight. They make an interesting product called YouBeam for people who are fed up with the high cost of cable TV. So we have the company CEO ready to speak with us on that topic. And if you have a comment or question or suggestion about that or anything else, give us a call at 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. I'll get you on and get you through. We have an email inbox you can use if you're radio shy, you don't want to go on the air, but you have a question for our guest. Send it to live, L-I-V-E, at ComputerAmerica.com. That works really well. You can also join us in our live, interactive Computer America chat room from our homepage at ComputerAmerica.com. There you'll see it says Interact with the Show. There's a button there that says Chat and Live Video. It's really easy to find. It's also under the Interact pull-down menu, too. When you select that, you'll see a split screen come appear on your browser. On the left there it says connect to Freenode IRC. That's our live IRC chat room. The first blank asks you for a nickname. That's the name you'll be known by when you go in there. And then you skip down to the next the next form where you type things in, and it's a captcha code. It's asking for a captcha code. That's either a number or a couple of words. That just authenticates that you are a live human being and not a bot, that you want to go in there. Click the connect button, and your browser will move you into the chat room. It's just that simple. Now, for those of you who do this on a more frequent basis, you want to look a nicer graphical user interface, the button below that says click for IRC clients. That'll take you to our free software page, and on the bottom there we have a number of these plugins that will work with the different browsers or the platform that you're using. The different combinations. We offer 3 different versions. One of them should work for you. And then you install a plugin, so then the chat room opens up into its own window, and it just formats everything nicely. It's a nice user interface, but it's totally optional. You don't need to do it if you don't want to. And then sharing that page is our live Computer America streaming video. Here, of course, you can watch me and Ben, and sometimes you can see our guests or our computer screens when we want to point something out to you. So that's up there, and that's all live, and we invite you to join us. So that's basically how you communicate with us when we're live and broadcasting on the show. There you go. So anything else you want to talk about, Ben, before we get started?
No, just getting the news stories together for the next hour, and gotta say there's a lot of good ones. So looking forward to that, but also looking forward to our guests. So I say we jump right into it.
All right. So okay. Well, let's get to it now. As I mentioned, our guest this hour is from a company called Tenderbox. They make something called the YouBeam for people who are fed up with the high cost of cable TV. But YouBeam is actually comprised of 2 products which work together, so users can search for free web content and then watch it directly on their television set. With YouBeam, you get over 100 live international channels and thousands of movies, TV shows, and other videos on demand. And there's no commitment, as you can cancel at any time. Really. So here with us to explain further is Darren Stabinsky. Darren is Tenderbox CEO. Darren, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
Hi, Craig. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, and I understand you're in beautiful sunny Florida.
Yeah, we sure are. And I heard Ben's from there too, huh?
Yeah, Ben.
Yeah, it's apparently it's getting rather crowded.
It's great weather.
Yeah.
That is nice. Yes, Florida is wonderful. But so let's talk a little bit about this. Now, YouBeam is the product, as I mentioned. It was created by Tenderbox for people who are fed up with the high cost of cable TV. But I understand that YouBeam is actually comprised of 2 products which kind of work together so users can search for free web content and then watch it directly on their TV. So why don't you tell us a little bit about these 2 products and how they actually work together?
Sure. So we have a browser that is actually the client side that lets you browse the internet, and it was made for video. It has a great pop-up blocker and tracking prevention, and it's actually impossible to download any viruses with it. And anybody that's on these video sites understands that you get bombarded with this stuff. Mm-hmm. So it actually makes it much easier to find the video.
Okay.
And then the other side is, of course, the hardware, which is the device. Mm-hmm. And then there's actually a third part, which is the search engine, which is on the server side.
Mm-hmm. Now, this little device, let's talk about the device itself. This is a physical device that hooks in to, you hook it up to your TV or you hook it to your computer. I mean, describe the device itself and the process of getting it connected.
Sure. The hardware is a lot like, if anybody's familiar with Google Chromecast, it looks a lot like that. It plugs into your TV through the HDMI, and then it's powered through a USB. The USB, you could plug it into your TV, or you could plug it into the wall, and then it connects to your Wi-Fi network through our software, and we have an automated process for that.
Now, as you mentioned, it sounds and looks a little bit like the Google Chromecast. I have a Chromecast connected to my TV, and I absolutely love it because I can take things that I'm watching on my computer and throw it up on the large screen when I want to. But so, are you saying that YouBeam offers its users features like you would get on the Chromecast and the Roku and Apple TV, but I understand those some of the features are actually a little bit different. I mean, how are you different than all these other products I just mentioned?
Yeah, we're quite different from Chromecast and Apple TV. To start with, we consider ourselves a service. We don't consider ourselves a physical product.
Mm-hmm.
The physical product is actually part of the entire system.
Okay.
So we actually give away a device once you get a subscription. So we're actually a subscription service. You get a free device when you sign up, and then you get the browser, and then you also get access to the search engine. So we put all these things together in order to make video easy to find, and be able to watch it on your TV, and to avoid all the hazards of the internet like tracking, viruses, spyware, and such.
Okay, so it sounds to me like YouBeam was created to allow people to take advantage of all the free video on the web. But what about the annoying ads that are up there? Does it prevent those as well?
Yeah, it prevents the pop-up. It's got a great pop-up blocker, so it prevents the pop-ups that's prevalent on all these video sites. And it also prevents the tracking. It's impossible to download anything with this thing. So if you're trying to download things, this is not the browser to do it with. But for watching video, there's nothing better.
So now you wrote, your company created this browser. This isn't Firefox or Chrome or Safari or any other of the browsers. This is your own actual browser?
That's right. We created our own browser, and it's a WebKit-based browser, if anybody's familiar with that. We make it really easy to watch video on it, and we call it a beaming browser. So the browser actually has controls, a remote control for the device on the browser itself. So you have a beam button. So when there's a video that's ready to be beamed, it turns from red to green, and it tells you can beam. And you press the beam button, it starts playing on your TV. And then you have the pause, fast forward, rewind, and you can control everything directly from the browser.
All right. So I guess what I'm asking, so I'm trying to envision how this is set up. I know my Google Chromecast, I can use my iPhone to control it, so I can pause it, rewind it, that type of thing. How am I controlling the YouBeam? Am I controlling it with my computer that has the browser? Do I have to be in front of my computer to watch the content, or how do I control everything, I guess?
Yeah, so the browser itself has all the controls on it. Mm-hmm. Right now we have the Windows version that's out, and the Android version is about to be released. So it's going to be an Android app that has all the same browsing and search features as the Windows version, as well as the control panel. So from either your phone or your computer, you can control the video. You can stop it, rewind it, fast forward it, do everything directly from there. Okay.
So let's talk a little bit about what it is that I'm controlling. When am I getting TV shows? Am I getting movies? What kind of content are you making available through the YouBeam service?
So the YouBeam service right now, we have there's a ton of free content, as everybody knows, on the web, and people are just fed up with cable. The cost is just out of control. Everybody's paying for content they don't really care about, they don't need. And at the same time, you have all these content providers that are streaming everything over the internet because they want to make it available for people with mobile devices and on computers and laptops. So it's kind of a dichotomy there, and because all this free content exists out there, we're able to help people find this content and then beam it to their TV and watch it on their TV, which has the same effect as cable, but at a fraction of the cost.
Okay, well, let me try to be a little more specific. I mean, obviously, when I have my satellite or cable, whatever it is, I get a grid, and I can see, channels 4, channel 5. I get my local channels, then I get HBO, and I get Showtime for my movies. I mean, I'll get things like that. So what do I see when I launch the YouBeam? I mean, do I see a grid, or is it just basically browser? I mean, how do I see what content is available? Do you have any kind of I guess consolidation on the browser? Or am I just basically freewheeling it there?
Well, you can freewheel if you want, but we actually have an entire menu system.
All right.
So you have a section for live channels that right now we have about 148 live channels. We're about to add another 200 live channels, and these are channels from all around the world. And these are all live streams. Then we have different categories that you can search through. We have movies, TV shows, music videos. We even have an adult category with a very strict parental control on it. Mm-hmm. So we basically feel like the internet is free and people should be able to see what they want and go where they want, and we have no connection or ties to any of the content providers. So we basically let you go where you want, and we're not directing you to any paid services. We're not making any commission on any services. We're just asking that you pay the subscription fee, and we help you find and watch pretty much what you want.
All right, now
on the internet, and amazing how much stuff there is available.
Well, I can ask now, but let's just take the average television before we get to the other specialty channels. But for example, if I want like my local channels, for example, I get Channel 3, Channel 4, Channel 5 News, the things that I would normally see, NBC, ABC, Fox. I mean, I do realize that they do have their own. I can go to abc.com, for example, and watch the content there. Am I using that same mechanism with the YouBeam? I'm just going to abc.com and downloading the content there, or is there some other method that you make available?
Well, we actually don't have live streams of the local channels yet. We're working on that. And that's really just to provide the local news, but we don't provide the live network access. Mm-hmm. However, we're working with some partnerships from antenna providers, and as many people know now, you can get HD over the air.
Yes.
So if in combination with an excellent antenna, you can actually fulfill all your needs. You can get the local channels over the air, and then you can get everything else through YouBeam.
Okay, now let's forget the local channels, because the local channels usually are the network affiliates, local CBS and ABC affiliate. But if I want to watch some of the local programming that these affiliates are providing, I realize I can usually catch them like the next day on ABC.com or NBC.com. They'll bring them out afterwards. So am I using that same mechanism with the YouBeam? In other words, I'm going to go to those websites and watch the content, but it's like usually the day after rather than the actual up to the moment. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. You can pretty much find on-demand TV shows after they air the next day or mm-hmm. sometime that week. They're going to be made available pretty much. You're going to be able to see what you want. We're making the entire internet available to the viewer. So if it's out there, you can find it. Then you'll be able to see it.
I understand. Now, one other thing that I have noticed that some of these network websites are doing is that when you go to watch ABC.com or CBS.com, any of those, they'll ask you a question. They'll say, "Who is your provider?" They'll say, "Is it DirecTV or is it Comcast or is it Charter?" They'll ask that question, and if you and then I think that I don't know if they ask you for a password, but they ask that information. I think they're trying to make their content available only to people who subscribe to those services. Can you speak a little bit toward that and what you're doing with Tenderbox and YouBeam in those situations?
Yeah, well, we're actually not compatible with certain secured streams that require you to be a subscriber to a cable service. Mm-hmm. But you could actually find a lot of content that you want to see outside of those specific services.
Okay.
And there's a lot of stuff available out there.
Sure.
It's just a matter of being able to find it.
Okay.
And we actually use Bing on the back end to help us find that content. Microsoft Bing.
Okay. All right.
Why? Well, I mean, the obvious one. Why Bing? I mean, I feel like people know about it because of their aggressive advertising campaigns and things like that. But is there like a technical reason you felt Bing was maybe returning searches better than Google, or is it just you're a Bing person?
Yeah, we actually like the Bing API, the way the API works. It works very nicely with our system, and they actually make a lot of video content available. And we think it actually is better than Google when it comes to video, to finding video. So it actually works really well with what we're doing, rather than using Google.
All right. All right. So the content is out there, and you provide the mechanism, the browser, and what to help you find the content. And is it safe to say that anything? Can I use YouBeam to, let's say, go to a YouTube and I can play YouTube videos? I mean, are there any limitations as far as that concerned, or is it basically anything out there on the internet? In other words, if you can play it on your computer or display it on your computer, then the YouBeam will work with it.
Yeah, well, that's one way we're very different from Google Chromecast.
Mm-hmm.
Google Chromecast basically says, okay, if you go to one of our partner sites, then you'll be able to stream it directly to the Chromecast through the internet.
Mm-hmm.
But anything else, you're going to have to go on Google Chrome and do a screen mirror, or kind of like a mirrorcast.
Yes.
We don't work that way. We actually developed the technology that we find the location of the video that is at the site that you want to go to, and we send that location to our device, and our device streams it directly from the internet. And what that does is it gives us much better quality. I don't know if you've used on your Chromecast, if you've tried mirroring certain video. I mean, it's great for if you want to do a PowerPoint presentation, but if you want to stream live video and do it through a mirroring process, the quality is really not very good.
It
staggers a lot.
Yeah, it's not good at all. It kind of skips, it staggers. That's very true. But if you go to let's say to Netflix, where they have an arrangement, so you'll actually see the little square box that says, oh, I want to cast this, then it will work fine because they have worked with that company to make it nice and smooth. But if I go anywhere else and I just need to mirror what's on my computer screen, yeah, it's very jumpy, very blocky, not very not a very smooth or elegant solution. But you say you get around that because how is it you get to explain? How do you get around that?
Yeah, so we developed a technology that actually we're able to send the location of the video to our device, and our device streams it directly from the internet. So the same way that Chromecast does it with Netflix, we do it with everybody. So we actually provide that great quality that you would see on Netflix on Chromecast, no matter where you are, and that has other advantages as well, because since the device is acting independently from your computer or your device, you're not draining any energy from your laptop or your mobile device. You can actually do other things on your computer or your mobile device while you're watching. You could actually beam with one browser. You can beam to multiple TVs in your home. So the way our browser works, you actually see all the YouBeams that are connected on your network. And if, let's say you have 5 TVs, you can beam 5 different programs to 5 different TVs, which is something Chromecast cannot do.
That's something you can't do in Chrome. So that's an interesting point. I want to expand a little bit more. So basically, how many different TVs in your home will your browser allow people to beam content to?
We could actually do, I believe, up to 30 TVs.
Well, that's
so
more.
Maybe if Bill Gates wants to try it out in his home, which I'm not sure if he really needs something like YouBeam, but he can probably do it in every room in his house.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So the average household has maybe 3, 4 TVs. So obviously you're going to be able to do that. Now, when you subscribe to YouBeam, do you? People say, look, we got 4 TVs. I mean, do you need 4 different YouBeams, one to each TV, or how do you go about getting extra YouBeams for those TV sets?
Yeah, so you need a YouBeam for every TV you want to beam to.
Right.
So we give, with every subscription, we give 1 free device, and then we allow you to buy additional devices for a pretty low price, cheaper than Chromecast costs. So
Well,
you can for $32 you can buy extra devices, and you can put one on each of your TVs.
so each device costs 30. I know the Chromecast is $35 usually, so $32 for each set in your house allows it to work. But as you said, you can have different. Unlike the Chromecast, where it will be the same content, you can have each person can have their own content to their television set independently of the other ones. Correct?
That's right, and we only require one subscription per household. So you only need one subscription, and you can beam to as many TVs as you want.
Okay, well that makes perfect sense. So if Ben wants to, if Ben wants to watch, Family Guy,
whatever the blasted children watch now.
right, and I want
Sounds like my kids.
right, I want to watch the sci. His brother wants to watch the football game. There's no conflict there. Everybody can watch whatever they want to watch. Now, does each person need their own computer to direct it to that particular YouBeam? How does that work?
No, you don't. You don't. You can use one browser and one computer for all your devices, or one mobile device, one Android device for all your devices. So I mean, it's kind of cool to have your device in front of you, so you can control it. You can pause it when you want, or fast forward, rewind if it's on demand. But you don't need to. You can, if you have one computer in your house, you can use that for all your devices.
All right. Well, but let's say Ben has his own computer and I have mine and my wife has hers. So everybody has their own computer. And can we then use our own computers to control whatever it is we're watching at that time with the one account?
Yeah, and yeah, you can. All you have to do is download your own browser.
Yeah.
And by the way, the browser is free.
Oh.
So all you listeners out there that want to download a free browser, the beaming is locked, but you can download the free browser, and you can use our search engine. You can see all the great content you can get. And then if you like what you see, you can get a subscription and get a device. So
that's a great way to try it before you buy it. I mean, you'll go to
that's right.
Yeah, now if you go to if you go to our Computer America website and you go to our homepage there and you click on the show notes button, it'll open up our show notes page. You'll see tonight's show, which is November the 6th, and you'll see we have a link right there, the link that takes you to the Tinderbox website, the YouBeam website. And they actually have a big video running on it. It's a very, very nicely set up website, and then you can actually download.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can download the browser, and then you can see for yourself what's available. And obviously, Darren says there's a lot out there, and you can say, that's something I would like to do. And then at that point, you can subscribe, and then they Tinderbox will send you the YouBeam, and then you can hook it up and give it a try for yourself. Now, I understand there are no kind of contracts or anything, no kind of commitment. When you first what's the subscription for to get you started?
We charge $7.99 a month.
Okay.
We ask that you pay the first 4 months at the beginning when we send you the device, and if you want to cancel within the first 4 months and send us back the device, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
We hope that you don't, of course, but if you want to do that, you can. And then after the 4 months, the device is basically yours to do what you want.
Okay. Now, so let's say I cancel the subscription. Is the device then useless, or can I still use it for mirroring or something at that point?
Yeah, we actually don't really promote it, but the device has a Miracast mode. Mm-hmm. So if you want to do a Miracast, mm-hmm. You can actually do that with the YouBeam device by pressing the button on the device, and it changes it to Miracast mode.
Ah, okay.
We don't promote that because we don't really like the Miracast technology, but it is built into the device. And actually, I just noticed that Microsoft just came out with a Miracast device in order to cast their TV. So I think people are going to be really disappointed when they get that device.
Okay. Well, you're in the business, so you should know. But the interesting thing is, as long as you pay your $7.99 a month, then you can use the YouBeam to access all this free content. I mean, I assume that's how it works. I mean, when you're a subscriber, you have, just like Netflix kind of knows who you are. You have a name and a password. Is that basically how you access it, everything with the browser?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. I mean, we ask you to sign up even if you want the free browser, but your username and password will get you the beaming unlocked if you have a subscription.
Got it.
And the subscription is really because we feel like we're a service. We don't feel we're just selling a device.
No, it makes
we're selling
sense.
a service.
Yeah.
And we help you find the content, and we're always updating. We're always adding more content, more channels.
No, of course.
More live channels.
Yeah.
And actually, we're in discussion to add 50,000 radio channels from around the world.
Whoa.
That you can beam.
All right. Well,
so you can actually listen to Craig Crossman on Computer America.
That's right.
On YouBeam.
There you go. Now, in the household, do you need different names and passwords so everybody has the browser, or is it basically it's the same name and password for everybody in the household?
Yeah, you can use the same name and password for each account.
Yeah.
If you have you can sign up for multiple accounts and on the free browser if you want.
Yeah.
But if you're in one household, you might as well just get one.
Yeah, just get one, and then I just give everybody in the household the name and the password, and they use their own browser, and they can watch their own content.
Sure.
Darren, we're at the bottom of the hour.
Right.
That's what the music means, and then we're going to take a little break, and then we're going to continue on with this, okay? You're listening to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, on the IRN Radio Network. Darren Stavinsky is here with us, and we're talking about YouBeam that lets you sever the cable network from your household. We'll be right back with lots more. Stay with us.
Hey everyone, have you heard about the No Hair Removal device that's sweeping the globe? If you want to go weeks without shaving and get smooth, professional quality results, here's our favorite host, Cheryl, for No Hair Removal.
Thanks. Hey gals, I love talking about my No. It's this cute little hair removal system that you can take with you and use almost anywhere at home or on the road. No more expensive in-office treatments, painful waxing, and no more wasting your valuable time. Got unwanted facial hair? No has patented thermocon technology that works on all hair and skin colors, so it's perfect for using on all body parts. And now you can take advantage of this incredible risk-free trial. Get the No, the facial kit, a travel case, and a $100 discount shopping card, and you don't risk a penny to try it. Try the incredible No hair completely risk-free. Call 1-800-953-5415. That's 800-953-5415. 800-953-5415.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Hey, it's Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time it's, beard ski. With a scarf around your neck, a mask or another scarf covering your face, and something else warm over your ears, you could be toting a ton of togs just to keep the cold of winter away from your face. We got a beard ski, a fun alternative mask and then some, that wraps around your head, Velcro at the back, covers your ears, your nose, a hole for nostrils, your mouth, a mesh cover, under your chin, and down your chest. It looks like a costume beard, but nobody's going to ridicule you when you're toasty and they're fighting frostbite. The polyester and rubber thermal fleece is washable, non-flammable, and water-resistant. Bottom line, wearing a beard ski may look silly. One piece can keep so many parts of you warm, you could be sillier not to wear one. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. 33 minutes past the hour, and thank you yet again, Marty Winston, for that.
Yep.
Biersky. And we're talking to Darren here from YouBeam.tv service. And, one thing that I've gotten into recently is streaming content, but it's not just that. It's actually coming from a service called Twitch.tv. And there are a few other streaming services like that that kind of ask you to have a plugin. How well does UBeam.tv work with plugins? In most browsers, you download it, you install it, and and you run it in so and so fashion. Does UBeam make it easy to be compatible with those kind of things?
Oh yeah, it's funny you mentioned Twitch because I'm a big fan of Twitch actually.
Yeah.
Twitch is actually one of our channels on YouBeam on the menu system.
Oh, very nice.
So we're fully compatible with Twitch. Twitch will stream the live Twitch on your TV with YouBeam.
Very cool.
And actually one of our products that we came up with in one of our prior startups with me and my partner is we had a video game social network that you can actually put up to 4 different video games on one screen for gamers that want to live stream their video games. So we're very familiar with Twitch, and we actually want to promote these to the gamers because we're one of the few ways to be able to watch the live streaming on your TV through Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch is just getting bigger and bigger every year, and the viewership is just growing at a crazy rate, just year over year. So it's nice that when you come up with streaming television, you're not just trying to lure out the people who say I just want to watch the news and I want to watch Discovery Channel. You're actually going for other segments that aren't really that are still developing or haven't been developed yet. And one of those, as you know, is Twitch, and just the whole culture of just kind of like ground movement, people streaming their own content and letting as many other people tune in as they will. It's just like a ground movement kind of thing, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, and we're actually talking to some content providers or content producers from YouTube and Vimeo, because we want to feature some of those up-and-coming new content providers or producers on our network. We want to promote them. There's some great independent content producers on these stations that don't get the notoriety that they deserve, and they're never going to be able to be featured on a product like Chromecast or Apple TV, but for us, that's the segment that we want to go. We think these guys are gonna really make the traditional TV networks obsolete.
Well, this seems to be some of the direction that we're heading to. I mean, people are just getting fed up paying these outrageous monthly service charges from cable companies and satellite companies, and so. And we're seeing more and more of these types of devices coming to fruition, like the Apple TV and the Roku, and we're seeing a lot of them like that. And even Microsoft is sort of getting into the business. But when I saw the UBeam and it was pitched to us, I said, well, we got to get him on the show to talk more about it, because this is obviously the direction where so many people are heading to. I mean, we saw something similar with the telephones. Everybody had the standard landline phone in their home, and now we're seeing more and more people giving up their landlines, and either they just have a cell phone or they're using the internet. They're using voice over IP with devices like Magic Jack, or with the UMA device, which I happen to use. I love the UMA. And saying goodbye to the phone companies and not having to pay those outrageous bills. And so it seems that the same thing is happening now with television, with devices like this.
Yeah, I agree with that, yes.
Exactly.
For sure.
So now, one of the things that Netflix has is that you can rate, something. You can rate a video or a movie after you've seen it. So, do you ask UBeam users to help each other by, let's say, rating the videos they see? Do you have any kind of mechanism for that?
Yeah, we actually have a really cool feature for that. On every browser, you're going to see a smiley face and a frown face. and we actually ask our users to rate the quality of the videos that they see with a smiley face. And then we use that to improve the search results for other people that are searching for the same content. So if you've searched for something that somebody's rated already, the smiley faces will come up on the search results higher, and you'll be able to see those with the smiley face on there. And by the same token, if the quality of a video sucks, then you'll be able to do the frown face and avoid it. So right now, since we were just starting out, that hasn't gotten going. But once we get the users involved and get all these ratings, it's going to be very effective in getting our search engine to produce the best results.
So obviously and that's an interesting social feature. I mean, I know on Netflix, I don't completely rely on it, but I will read, the star rating, and then they have people that can make comments about the film, so you can kind of read a little bit about it.
Netflix reviews are the best. I hope you have a feature somewhere in YouBeam similar to that.
Well, that's what I was asking. Do you have any social features you plan to implement with YouBeam in the future, like that?
Yeah, we're actually working on some really great social features. Basically, we consider ourselves a community rather than just a product, and we're going to be implementing some awesome communication social features that users will be able to communicate with each other while they're watching their videos. They'll be able to share links with each other, share when they see some good stuff, and with social media integration as well, Twitter, Facebook. We're working on some really cool stuff with that.
And these things will just obviously just appear as you release them. Everything is just in the cloud, so using the browser. So that's really easy to fix. Now, what about the device itself? I mean, is there any kind of updates that you can send to the YouBeam, or is it closed, or is it open to future updates?
It's actually open to future updates. It's really easy for us to update it, and we can send automatic updates. We're actually considering opening up the YouBeam platform to other devices that would be compatible with our beaming browser. So even without a YouBeam, you'd be able to beam video to other devices that are DLNA UPnP compatible. So right now it's locked to the YouBeam device. Yeah. But we're strongly considering opening it up to other devices, because the device itself is not where the technology is. All the technology that we developed and that we patented is within the browser and within the servers that run the entire search engine and security and everything like that.
Interesting. So it's not necessarily the hardware it's the star of the show. It's the browser, and as you say, the service that you have, which obviously you have full control over. So you can update and add new features and maybe new buttons or what have you. That's all part of the setup.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. The hardware works really well.
Yeah.
It's up to 1080p HD, and for a device that small and with the power consumption it has, it really provides excellent video. But we also realize that other people already have devices; they don't necessarily need another device. So that's why we're considering opening it up.
So when you say opening up, you mean if I have a Roku or I have a Chromecast and I want to use the YouBeam browser, you're saying in the future it's possible that these devices might be I'm able to access those devices with your technology?
Yeah, that's right.
Now, is that something you're going to have to do cooperatively, or is that something you can reverse engineer, or is that going to be deals that you strike with these companies? How is that going to work?
No, I mean, Roku and Chromecast have all open platforms.
Ah.
So those two devices, everything's pretty much open. You don't need to make deals with them in order to just send video to them. And there's a lot of other devices out there too.
And then there's Apple, which is not open. So to work with Apple TV, you'd probably have to try to strike up a deal with them if you even wanted to, right? I would think. Exactly.
Yeah. Apple is an evil word in our company right now. Yeah, Apple likes to close everything.
Yeah.
And for that reason, we're going to have a tough time having an Apple, like an iOS app because we really do not know if they're going to like us. But we do intend on having a Mac version, develop a Mac program, a browser to run on Macs, and we're working on that as we speak. And we're about to release the Android too. So we're really about open, not closed.
Sure.
That's why we don't really mix well with Apple. And we've actually had a lot of people ask us, where's the Apple? Where's the Apple? Where's the Apple? But we all know how Apple is. So we're going to try really hard to see if we can pull something off.
Well, you can't do.
We're not sure.
You can't do any more than try. You at least you're making the attempt.
That's right.
Let me ask you this, Darren. I'm going to ask you to put on your prognosticating, hat now here. But what do you think? How much of a market share do you think beaming devices like yours can take away from major cable providers such as Comcast and Time Warner? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I feel that cable, the traditional way of how cable works, is really going to eventually die out completely.
Really?
Every cable, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work to provide these packages that have all these channels that people don't even care about, make them pay all this money when the content is already available online. All these content providers, even the traditional content providers, are going to fall behind if they don't provide online content.
Well,
so everything eventually is going to be online. The cable companies are going to really turn into internet providers. That's how we feel that's the direction of what the industry is going.
Well, in other words, I know, for example, right now you still can't do it, but we've had conversations, with things like DirecTV. You buy these packages and it includes all these channels which you'll never really use. I think eventually they're going to allow you to do it a la carte. You're going to have to buy. Well, I want maybe this ESPN channel, and I want this HBO channel, and I want the Sci-Fi channel. So you can actually pick the channels you want, and just do it on an a la carte basis. I think, at least to me, that would probably be one of the options that they're going to have to start exploring with all these different products that are coming out competing with them.
Yeah, they're definitely starting to do that a la carte service. They're trying to alleviate this problem that they're having with all these people that hate cable, and make it more inexpensive. But I mean, ultimately, these cable providers are just going to be internet providers.
So you think so? And so are you saying, for example,
yes.
I get my internet now from Charter. That's the cable service, but I don't use their TV service. But I just use their internet. They have the internet abilities, and that's how I get 100 megabits per second, and that's really great. I'm a flat fee just for the internet. So you're thinking that's where the future is going to be for most of these cable companies, just to provide internet communications?
Yeah, that's right. Everything eventually is going to be online, and they're just going to be internet providers that provide the internet access, and then there's going to be a new breed like YouBeam of companies that are going to come in and organize everything and make it real easy for people to find what they want. That's future. Traditional cable is just dead. It's going to die.
That sounds awfully familiar to what I was saying not 2 weeks ago.
You guys are in collusion.
Oh, really? I'll have to go back and listen to that archive.
Yeah, I've been calling for the same thing, at least very much along the same lines. Like, it was the same show where HBO said that they were, going on their own, because traditionally you had to have a cable subscription to get HBO, and HBO said, all right, enough's enough, we see where this is going. Before we get left behind in the dust, we're going to let you go buy HBO on, just by having HBO. So, I mean, it's we had the discussion at the same time, and it really is, people don't want to pay for what's on channel, 325 and on 786 and on 2348 when they just watch channel 5 and channel, 200. It's the internet is kind of one of those great things where you watch what you want to watch, and honestly, you're just paying for the internet. You're not paying for everything available on the internet.
That's right. It's funny, everything goes full circle. I mean, when I was a kid, and I'm sure, and when Craig, when you were a kid, you bought HBO, you bought Showtime. They were all separate. You bought what you wanted.
When I was a kid,
I mean, back then there was only like 4 channels.
Yeah, they didn't have HBO when I was a kid. I mean, I was a big deal when they got UHF. You know, they had and there was nothing on that way back. But you know, I remember when HBO when between the times they would have little videos of people somebody riding a bicycle. And I mean, it was very primitive back in those days. But of course, that's come a long way since that. And I think Ben is definitely talking about what HBO decided. In other words, you don't have to subscribe. You can subscribe strictly to get HBO and HBO Go without having to subscribe to a cable company and just get it directly on the internet. And I think all of this is the harbinger of things to come. That we're going to see these companies that like HBO who have this kind of not necessarily separate themselves from these companies, but they're going to say, you know, you don't need a DirecTV or a Charter or a Comcast to get our content. If you have internet, we're going to make it available to you. And that was the big news at the time. This was about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and it's true. And really what that's done is you know, watching TV has really become an individual sport. I mean, back when I grew up, we watched TV as a family, like the Ozzie and Harriet little pictures that you see. But you know, everything's now individual, and with YouBeam, we want to make it a social event again. We want people to watch TV together, and if everyone's going to watch internet TV on their tablet, it's not very social that way. But if you can beam it to your big screen and watch the same stuff together with your friends and your family, well, I think that's what people are going to really want to do.
Yeah, exactly. So it is coming full circle to a certain extent. You know, we're seeing more of that. So now, just to clarify again, I know we mentioned before, but I want to kind of get this because we're coming to the end of the hour. Darren, why don't you talk about with YouBeam? What are the charges? What are the costs? And just kind of go over that again with us, please.
Sure. So we have a very simple pricing plan. You get you can download the browser for free with the beaming locked, and you can see all the great content that we provide on your computer. If you want to beam, it's $7.99 a month. There's no commitment. We ask you again to pay the first 4 months in advance. If you want to cancel within the first 4 months, we ask you to return the device, and then we give you a refund for whatever you did not use. And then after that, basically the device is yours.
Wow. Okay. And you can have as many YouBeams as you want with the same account. You can have like 4, 5, 6 TVs in your home. You just still need the one account. You're paying the $7.99 monthly fee, and you can have as many different, and each TV can show different programming. It doesn't have to be the same program, which I think that's really very cool. I like that.
That's right. That's right.
You mentioned international channels. Like what are we talking about? What kind of international channels are you offering at this point?
Yeah, right now we have, I believe, last count I haven't checked because we keep adding more, but I think we have about 15 different countries right now, and we keep adding more all the time. We actually are a great device for expats, for people that don't live in their home countries and want to watch their home country's TV. We provide a lot of different internet streaming live channels that actually stream, some of them in really great quality, 1080p. For example, we have TV coming from Abu Dhabi that is the quality is amazing.
Really?
That's just one example, but we have tons of French channels. My partner is actually French, so he put the French ones on first. But we have tons of Spanish channels. We have tons of Russian channels, of Chinese channels. We have Israeli channels. We run the gamut on all the different languages.
Really?
So yeah, if you're from another country, you're gonna love it.
Anything from Japan yet?
Do we have Japan? I think we might have Japan. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. Well, if you want to watch Godzilla reruns, that's the channel I would say to access. Yeah.
Yeah. I know we have Korea for sure.
Korea.
And we
Okay.
have lots of Chinese. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, of course, they're speaking in those native languages. There are no subtitles. You have to speak the language. Although Abu Dhabi, I would think, they're very progressive. They probably, as you mentioned, they have high quality programming. I would think that they would be broadcasting in English. Do they broadcast in English from Abu Dhabi?
No, they're usually Arabic.
Arabic. Okay.
All the Arab countries are generally Arabic. I mean, you'll see some English stuff, or you'll see sometimes English with English movies with subtitles or dubbed. You see a lot of that. It's very interesting to see the whole international TV scene.
Right. Do you offer closed captioning? Is that something that you offer, or is that something just from the stations themselves that offer that?
No, if the station has the subtitles, then you could get it, but we don't offer it as a service on YouBeam.
At least not now, but it's something you might want to consider.
Not now, exactly. Yeah.
Well, listen, Darren. Again, if all our listeners want to check it out, again, go to the tenderboxyoubeam.com website. It's actually it's youbeam.tv. www.youbeam.tv. But again, you can also go to our website at computeramerica.com, our show notes page. That stays up there forever. You'll see tonight's show, and we have a link to the YouBeam website there as well. Hey, Darren, I want to thank you for being on the program with us tonight. Very interesting stuff. I know you're right.
Thanks for having me.
You're right there on the cutting edge, and I need to check it out. I need to get a YouBeam and try it for myself. Especially since it's coming from Florida, so we can't not that far from you.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think I sent one to Carissa, so you should check it out.
Yeah, that, or you should send one to Ben, so he can check it out too.
I'll send one to Ben for sure.
All right, absolutely.
Maybe we'll have lunch together since we live in the same place.
There you go.
Sure thing.
Absolutely. All right, Darren. Listen again. Thank you so much for being with us here tonight, and best of luck to you. And let's touch base again, in 6 months from now, and have you come back or something. Okay?
Yeah, that sounds great. Thanks, guys.
All right, Darren. Take care. Have a good evening. Good night.
Good night.
Bye bye.
You too. Good night.
All right. All right.
Bye, Ben.
All right. There you go. All right. Again, Tenderbox YouBeam is all you really need. YouBeam.tv. I'm going to have them send you one.
Companies.
Yeah.
That are on the forefront of cord cutters.
Exactly.
I think are going to be very well positioned.
I think so.
Just like YouBeam.
Yeah, I think so.
Because cord cutting isn't, it's not a passing trend. It's not like something new. It's where people are going with their viewing habits.
Now, now on your TV you have an HDMI input, so you could put a YouBeam on your TV, right?
Most televisions sold in the past 5 to 6 years do have an HDMI. So.
Okay, well, good. So yeah, we'll get him to send you one. He said she sent one to Carissa. I didn't even know he sent it to her. I'll get him to send one to you too, so you can try it out and see how that works. All right. In the meantime, we're going to be going to our next segment of the show. We're going to do computer and technology news, brought to you by Slimware Utilities. They're the official optimization software of Computer America. But before we do that, just want to let you know that our contests at Computer America are in full swing, and obviously all of you really like the new forum feature that we've added. You just go to our pull-down menu. It says Enter Contest. You'll see all of the contests. The Logitech contest is up there now. You'll see the 3 great prizes that we're giving away, the third, second, and grand prize contest. This ends on December the 5th at midnight Eastern Time, so you still have plenty of time to get your entry in. We've got that Logitech X300 mobile wireless stereo speaker valued at $70. You get to pick the prize, the color of the prize, so that's all up in place. And again, we've got our official Computer America contest entry form right there on that same page, so you don't have to do email anymore. So many of you really like that, and I think it's a nice addition. And of course tomorrow night we're going to have our show reminder winner, where we pull from a list of subscriber names a winning name to win the Logitech T650 rechargeable glass touchpad, valued at $80. All I have to do is sign up for our show reminder. It's completely free. You put your first and last name and your email address, click the blue submit button. It'll send you a confirmation email to which you must reply. We want to make sure that you're not a bot and that you're an actual live living person, and then you're in. And the show reminder is the only publication in the universe that gives you who's going to be on the show for the Computer America show for the entire week. It's right there, so you can kind of plan ahead. And then every Friday from that list of name, we draw a winning name to win that great prize from Logitech. So, just go to our contest page, enter in all of our contests. They're all free. They're all private. We give your contact information out to no one unless you're a winner. Then we'll give them your contact info so they can mail you the prize. That's pretty much it. So enter in all of our contests. You'll have a lot of fun playing the contest, entering, and, you might win something really nice. Okay? Coming up in hour 2, computer news. What are some of the stories that we're going to be doing tonight, Ben?
Good question. Maybe I should look into them before I was just... Because normally I just kind of read headlines and I look at the pictures, read the headlines, I'm like, could be relevant. But
here's one. Why thousands of people are willing to die on Mars. I guess it has to do with that one-way ticket.
Yeah, that has to do with the manned mission on Mars, yes, indeed. There's also some about the new title for Star Wars 7 is out.
Oh, yeah, we'll tell you what that is when we come back. And also, Lightro's light field camera tech. We've got some interesting developments with that technology. All those stories and more coming up in hour 2 of the Computer America Show. Of course, news tips bulletin review from our good friend Marty Winston. We'll have another one for those of you as well. We're going to be back just in a moment. You're listening to us on the Blog Talk Radio Network. Stay with us.
Broadcasting live. It's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@ComputerAmerica.com.
Hello and welcome into hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And again, thanks to Darren Stabinsky. He's the CEO of Tenderbox. They make the YouBeam device. He was on with us for the first hour. If you missed it, you certainly can listen to it again. We archive everything here at Computer America. And it's all on our website at ComputerAmerica.com. Just go to the top of any of our pages there, and it says Archives, and you click that. It'll take you to our audio archives, which you can get on Blog Talk Radio or over at Apple's iTunes. It'll take you to the page there. It'll even launch the iTunes application if you want to use that. So that's all available. You can listen to that. You even have our RSS feed. You can subscribe to that too. Of course, on Apple's iTunes, it will do it automatically for you. It treats our radio show as if it were a podcast, and that means you can subscribe to it, and then it will download the current show after it's over, and then you can listen to it at your leisure. I know a lot of people do
Question.
that. Yes.
Does it still split up into hour 1 and hour 2, or is it just the whole thing?
It's the whole thing, both hours.
Both hours.
Yes, both hours. It's not hour 1, hour 2. It's now both hours. It's one continuous file. And I think it's just a lot easier. Well, a lot of people like it. It just takes a few moments to download it, and then you can split it up. Whatever. One of our listeners last night, I think the email said he likes to break it up into 15-minute segments for whatever reason, but that's what he likes to do. But the iTunes will accommodate you that way. And of course, our videos. We have our own YouTube channel, so we have video archives. So every time since we began doing the videos, all of them are available. We have the link there as well. So it's all under our archive page at ComputerAmerica.com. And again, thanks to Darren Stabinsky for spending some time with us telling us about YouBeam. It looks like a really cool device. It really does. So anything else you want to mention before we get started with our news portion of the show?
No, there's some great news stories that I think would be very entertaining to talk about. So yeah. I'd like to just jump into that.
Yeah, but before we jump to that, tomorrow night is the premiere of Interstellar, and that's one I want to see. I haven't been to the movie theater in quite a while, Ben, but that's one I think it's worth to go see. Have you heard anything good? Have you heard anything about it?
It's weird. It's like the directors of it, like they aren't even talking about the movie anymore. They're talking about the implications of the movie and getting off of Earth and getting to other planets. And
Yeah.
no one has brought up the stupid alien argument that you're talking about. They're talking about colonizing other planets, getting humans off of Earth, and becoming interstellar species.
Yeah.
It's not even like, oh wow, the movie was like 4 out of 5 stars and it was great. They're talking like this one movie has really opened up the discussion to humans living elsewhere other than Earth.
Yeah.
In pop culture.
Okay. Well, that's I'm looking forward to seeing it. And of course, a new name for the upcoming Star Wars movie too. Well, that's all some of the news that we're going to be talking about. So let's do it. Tonight's computer and technology news is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system. Get this, for free. That's right. Everything at slimwareutilities.com is completely free. They're not freemium models, they're not crippled.
Not freemium, not crippled, not anything. You have to pay for them. Download them all. Get them, put them in your toolkit, save them for when you need them, or just run them routinely as maintenance. Very good.
and there it is. Again,
you run that same line for like 3 minutes every day, and it's killing me a little bit inside. They're a great product. I agree. It's just the same lines over and over and over again.
Well,
killed me.
Welcome to the world of sponsored advertising.
Sponsored radio. You have to advertise. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But again, I think they're great. They're a great toolkit.
Well, yeah. As a matter of fact, we use them here at the Crossman household.
We use them here at the Crossman household. Vary it up a little bit.
Okay. So anyway, visit them at slimwareutilities.com. Download them all, and then and you'll be very happy that you did. Slimwareutilities.com. And our first story of the evening starts off with from Engadget, Lightro's light field camera tech to boost night vision and space imaging. Now, Lightro makes that little square camera that allows you that uses its light field photo technology. So after you take a picture and it's blurry, you can focus. That's what if you take a blurry photo. You can fix it. You can adjust it after you've taken a picture. No other camera can do that. If you take a shot and it's blurry, you're out of luck. Not so with the Lightro. And they're a cutting-edge technology that allows you to actually focus after you've taken the shot. So that's what's kind of special about it. And Lightro now wants other companies to use this light field photo technology to improve their devices, and not just photography wares. In order to do that, the company outed the Lightro Development Kit, LDK, as part of its platform initiative. At first, you might think this for other consumer device makers, but it goes way beyond that. In the announcement, the outfit tossed out some examples of more commercial R&D type scenarios for its imaging know-how. Since Lightro's inception, we've continually been approached by a number of organizations wanting to collaborate with us on a wide variety of new applications, said the CEO of the company. Things like NASA improving its imaging in space and Army night vision projects are already using the kit, and there's potential for things like a gadget that analyzes soil samples for scientists. There's a hefty fee to get access to the goods, so this is definitely a B2B move, but it'll certainly be interesting to see the results. So there it is. They're kind of opening it up, and they're throwing out this light field photo technology to other companies. The camera itself is still the same. I mean, it's a little pricey. It's like $350 for this little camera, but it's
very boxy, very kind of basic looking, but it does something that no other camera does.
That's right, and it allows you to focus after the fact. Mm-hmm. Very interesting, and it's got a little 1-inch viewer screen, a little color viewfinder on the back, but it's a very cool. And it comes in a variety of colors too, 5 different colors. So there it is, the Lightro. Okay.
All right. Next story. This one's going to be a little bit more on the movie side of the whole thing, and this is a sad, sad story about America and the story of inflation. It's done horrible things to this next movie, and it's called The $6 billion Man.
The $6 billion man.
I feel like inflation caused it to be a $6 million man to the $6 billion man, simply because if you said, "Hey, we spent $6 million rebuilding a person," people would say, "Oh, 6 million? That it? Pfft, okay, whatever." So instead, they had to up it to the $6 billion man. This one from Blaster, and yeah, is still on its bionic track, with Mark Wahlberg set to star in the upcoming reboot and Peter Berg to sit in the director's chair. Rumors of Wahlberg starring in the film have been swirling for a couple months now, but now it looks like the deal is almost done. And here they have Deadline's report saying that Mark Wahlberg and Peter Berg, the duo behind the critically acclaimed box office success Lone Survivor, didn't see it, are re-teaming for the future version of the $6 billion man. Berg will direct, and Wahlberg is attached to star in the film about the former astronaut Steve Austin, who, after a horrific crash of an experimental plane, is saved by doctors when he is fitted with bionic replacements: both legs, his right arm, and his left eye. With superhuman power, he becomes a force to be reckoned with for the government as a secret agent for the Office of Scientific Intelligence.
I would go see that picture. I would see that picture because
Did you ever see the original?
I saw the original with $6 Million Man, and I would go see this picture with Mark Wahlberg was in it.
Mark Wahlberg does action like crazy good.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
So it promises to be very entertaining. The story is based on, of course, Martin Caden's sci-fi book Cyborg. It became a bestseller when it was published back in 1972, and the book inspired the 70s television series The $6 Million Man, then starring Lee Majors as Steve Austin. The popular TV show had a large fan base and also spawned a spin-off, The Bionic Woman, with Lindsay Wagner.
Remember that too.
Yep. So filming on the $6 Man should begin next year, with the publisher or the person who does the production company, whatever, eyeing a 2016 release date. What you got, So yeah, that's it. Mark Wahlberg, $6 Billion Man, a duo. The director Peter Berg, who has obviously done action flicks before, and it's rebooting a series that obviously had a pretty big fan base going way back. So.
And of course, with today's technology and what we can do with CGI, I think that I think it's going to be a good movie. Let's face it, people who are extraordinary. I mean, Marvel is, for example, is just cashing in on like gangbusters. I mean, with the Captain America.
Superhero flicks, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're making a fortune. I just watched this. There was a special TV special on Tuesday, I think it was. I recorded it. It's called Marvel 75 Years, and it was looking at and how it kind of started and how it's grown, and what it is today. And I mean, they are just raking it in with all these different TV series and movies that are coming out. It all started pretty much with Iron Man, the first Iron Man movie, and that was wildly successful. And I didn't know that Marvel is its own movie production. I mean, having to go to a movie set, they do all their production, they do everything themselves, and it was very enlightening to see that. But I would definitely see the $6 billion Man in the movie. I would go see that.
Yep, it's and Mark Wahlberg starring it is probably like when I think about who it could have been. Like if you put someone like The Rock, Dwayne Johnson in it, or Vin Diesel, I feel like that would have been too, over the top, kind of huge, built, jacked up thing. Just kind of having like the average rugged guy in there.
That's the secret behind it. He looks like an average guy, but he has this incredible strength, so it catches people off guard. That was one of the things about the $6 Million Man, is that it was he looked like a fairly average guy, and yet he was able to do all these incredible things. He could run extremely fast, like 60, 70 miles an hour. Yeah, exactly. And So I think that was one of the attractions. He didn't look really big and bulky, but so I think you're right.
Do you think they'll actually play the sound effect when he runs really fast? The da-da-da-da-da?
It's interesting because I've seen a number of documentaries on with the $6 Million Man, and they did a lot of that. They couldn't figure out how to make him look fast, when they would speed him up using fast motion,
Yeah.
it'll look ridiculous, and so they
So
figured
it's slow motion.
they did slow motion. They said the slow motion made him look like he was really in your imagination he was actually moving very, very quickly. However, with today's technology, I've seen things, for example, in the latest Superman movie did that, where he moves very, very, very fast, and it looks real. It doesn't look like he's using fast motion. It looks realistic. So they've obviously perfected the technique. So they won't have him running in slow motion anymore, I would think.
Well, I mean, and also the $6 billion man. Yes, it's a billion with a B, but I don't think he has to reach Superman speeds. He just has to reach, incredible sprinter plus
Yeah.
a souped up Segway speed.
Yeah. He doesn't have to be the Flash either, but he can. If you can run at 70 miles. That's the original one. He ran about 70 miles an hour. The $6 Million Man, and I think if it's comparable.
No one has to go faster than that nowadays.
Go 100 miles an hour. That's fine too.
They're gonna have to have something where someone has bragging about their car, and he's gonna walk up next to him, and then he's just gonna beat him. They're gonna put in little things like that to kind of gauge how fast he can go and things like that. But yeah, in general, $6 Billion Man, Mark Wahlberg, 2016. Personally, it sounds entertaining, even though it hasn't even been filmed yet.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they just had that one picture of him there that we're looking at.
Well, no, the one picture you're looking at is actually him from the latest Transformer movies.
Transformer movie. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Well, speaking of movies, that's right. The next Star Wars is coming out, and they have the title has been picked. It's going to be called Star Wars: The Force Awakens is the new title. So Star Wars Episode 7 isn't called Star Wars Episode 7 anymore. The title for J.J. Abrams' directorial revival of the space opera franchise was announced today as the social media Star Wars: The Force Awakens. So there you go. That's what it's called. Star Wars: The Force Awakens. And oh yes, Abrams also had apparently finished shooting his chapter of the Star Wars saga. Quite why the title was announced with such little fanfare at this time, or why the Force was asleep in the first place, remains to be seen, of course. But at least we can rest assured that the Force will be with us once again in 2015. There you go.
See, it's I always thought that where they left off with the very end of Star Wars 6, yes, the Empire was kind of pushed back. The Rebels scored a huge victory. Defeating the second Death Star and everything. Oh, sorry, spoilers. There's gonna be spoilers. And it's like, yeah, they did, but I mean, the Jedi were still in tatters. I mean, there was Luke was like last Jedi.
Well, it's never changed. We started in the second trilogy, and that was the fall of the Jedi Knights and the rise of the Empire. The first trilogy was that the Jedis were in power, and it kind of shows you how they fell.
And then the clones and the clones, and then the Empire rose.
And then the last trilogy is supposed to be the downfall of the Empire and the return of the Jedi Knights. That's the last trilogy. That's what we're going to see. That's always been the plan for Star Wars, and I don't think that ever really changed. But as you recall, I don't know if you've seen all the Star Wars movies. I know that. The last one of the first trilogy leaves the last scene you see is the original opening scene where Luke Skywalker and he's got the 2 moons, or 3 moons up there, and that was the opening. That was like the ending scene, which was the opening scene of the second trilogy. So, and it went full circle, so you understood everything. And now we're going to see the last trilogy.
Yeah. So and I hear it's supposed to be like 30 years in the future. Luke Skywalker is probably going to be some sort of Ben Kenobi kind of figure, and he's going to be training Jedis and that kind of thing. I'm actually, even though the first trilogy came out, when we had pretty good CGI, I mean, like the CGI in Star Wars 1, regardless of storyline, regardless of content, the CGI was leaps and bounds and crazy ahead of what the original Star Wars was.
Oh my God!
Back when it was released. So I'm even more excited now that they, back when they released like the first Star Wars, Star Wars Episode 1, like they had all the technology. They just didn't have the the craftsmanship, and that they had the ability to do a lot with it. But I think that should do with it.
Well,
Because you can go over the top and you can, completely ruin the whole thing.
Well, 4, 5, and 6, which were really the actual first 3 movies that came out, he actually went back and redid it. He had the money. He said so much stuff that he couldn't do, and he made a digital version of the Episode 4, which was really the first episode that ever came out. And a lot of people
mad.
They didn't like it. They said leave it the way it was. So they
well, okay, wait. I think a very outspoken minority didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I liked it.
You did? Okay.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's it was still his vision, and it wasn't a reliance on so much the because back then, like even with Yoda, he was a puppet. He was a Muppet kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't CGI or anything like that. He was a Muppet.
He was.
So, like they had a lot of practical effects instead of special effects.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think even by going back and adding those special effects, I think it added a lot. So,
Exactly.
I don't know.
All right. Well, anyway, we're gonna, we should be able to see it coming out in 2015. One of the many movies that I'm flagged to watching. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing Batman versus Superman. I think a number of movies that are coming out this year.
Dawn of Justice.
Yeah, Dawn of Justice. So a lot of good ones.
There's gonna be a lot of good movies in 2015.
Are you gonna finally go? You gonna go see these movies? Because you don't go see movies very much. Hopefully you'll get to.
Well, I mean, how often does the new Star Wars come out?
Yeah, well, so you are gonna go see that then?
Maybe. All right. Okay. But yeah, actually, since we're on a movie kick, I have one more movies, and this came out today. If anyone's interested, again, November 6th, came out today. There's a brand new trailer showing the final movie of the Hobbit trilogy.
Oh yes.
Just came out today.
It did.
Yep. So this one from Blaster again. Peter Jackson's Hobbit films have been met with no shortage of criticism, snark, and often flat-out nerd rage, and they'll be met with plenty more in the weeks leading up to the release of The Hobbit: The Battle of the Five Armies. Yes, the films seem unnecessarily bloated and stretched. Yes, the magic of the Lord of the Rings doesn't exist in the films for many viewers. Yes, it often feels less like an adaptation of J.R.R. Tolkien's fantasy adventure for children and more like a Rings prequel. There's plenty to pick out here, but one point that the marketing for this film is really stressing adds a certain aura of gravity to the release that the other films didn't have. This is the film where we go to Middle Earth at the movies one last time.
Okay.
Because, the trilogy has been done. This is the last Hobbit movie. So unless someone announces, we're going to do the Silmarillion or we're going to do, some other adaptation of, J.R.R. Tolkien's universe, this is the last J.R.R. Tolkien adaptation for the foreseeable future.
Wow. So this is the last one.
This is it. So they have to go completely bananas with the action in this one. So when we go see the Battle of the Five Armies next month, it will be the end of an era that began in 2001 when the Fellowship of the Ring was released. Right. It's an era that made Jackson and stars like Elijah Wood, Orlando Bloom, and Viggo Mortensen household names. It's an era that garnered new respect for the fantasy storytelling on the big screen, something that perhaps culminated in the 11 Academy Awards earned by The Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. That movie earned a lot of Academy Awards. That was a great movie, though.
Yeah, it was a very good movie, yeah.
So sure, there are low points here and there. Some would argue the film's worth of low points, but it's been a wild ride, and unless the Tolkien estate warms to Hollywood again sometime soon, this is very likely the end of it. So it's fitting that the just released main trailer for the Battle of the Five Armies is as world-spanning and high-stakes as it is. We get plenty of glimpses of the battle, said to take up to 45 minutes of the film.
Wow.
That's a long battle scene.
It is.
That's a crazy battle scene. But there's plenty more to unpack, too. We see the weight of reclaiming Erebor and its effect on Thorin and his company of dwarves. Sounds nerdy to see it. We see Thranduil face off with Gandalf. We see Legolas discovering menacing new enemies as something darker than the battle at hand grows in the east. Perhaps most strikingly, we see the White Council assemble at Dol Guldur to face the darkness there, led by the great Christopher Lee reprising his role as Saruman. Ooh.
Yes.
Christopher Lee is Saruman.
Yes.
That's always entertaining.
With long white
hair.
With the long white hair.
Long white hair, long white beard, plays a great dark, plays a great evil white wizard.
Yep.
So, and then we get to a very fitting final shot featuring the One Ring.
Yeah.
So, just sum up here, this trailer, more than any other piece of marketing for the film we've seen so far, really stresses that Five Armies feels like almost equal parts Hobbit conclusion and Rings prequel, which is part of why it's being billed as the defining chapter of Jackson's Middle-earth adventures. Jackson also spoke in the past about building to a darker, more Lord of the Rings tones in this installment, and though the final film might not live up to the ambition, it's definitely showing here. It's easy to be cynical about this film, but given the two that preceded it, perhaps Five Armies will rise to the occasion and send us out with a bang.
Right. So after this, what's Peter Jackson going to do? This is it.
He's probably sitting on a huge pile of money and many, many, many awards, and critically acclaimed, and he's going to be, revered in Hollywood for probably the rest of his life. To be honest, he could do whatever he wants. He could sit back and wait till some other, something else catches his eye or his imagination. But I mean, when you say Peter Jackson, he's just, in terms of epic.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Peter Jackson just does epic films epically.
Yeah.
So, The Hobbit Battle of the Five Armies, the trailer is out on YouTube. Go look it up. It's promises to be very, very exciting.
Have you seen it yet?
I haven't seen it. Shh.
No, I'm going to see it.
Anything. But promises to be very, very exciting. And, coming out this December 17th, by the way. Is when this movie comes out. Yeah, so look forward to it.
Yeah, they're always a year apart. I saw the Desolation of Smog, which was the second of the three. I didn't see that in the movie theater. I did see it on TV. I wasn't motivated to go to the theater. The first one I saw we saw in the movie theater. Second one we watched on television. This last one I probably will go to the movie theater to see.
I mean, it's promises to be the biggest of the big.
A 45-minute battle? That's gonna be that's a long battle.
45, like that probably trumps the last battle of the Return of the King.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think it's an interesting movie. We're coming. Yeah, we're coming up to the winter movies. There'll be some very interesting ones.
Yep.
This one from Maximum PC. Now we talk about 3D printers, printing. Well, guess what? There's a 3D printer, and it's called the Foodini. So I guess we know what this. It makes pizza and other edible treats. Yeah, this whole 3D printing thing is expanding rather quickly, don't you think? According to Paul Lilly. We've already seen the technology evolve from little plastic trinkets to guns, bullets, makeup, and even food. Yes, we said food, and not those plastic fruit decorations your grandmother puts in a bowl on her living room table. We're talking about the kind you can eat. Well, this is, Meet Foodini, the 3D printer that can print pizza and other edible bits that you can stuff down your gullet. Foodini is similar to a regular 3D printer, if there can be such a thing at this point, but rather than using plastic, it takes ingredients from stainless steel capsules and prepares a meal. It's the same technology, but with plastics, there's just one melting point, whereas with food, it's different temperatures, consistencies, and textures. This is the co-founder of the Natural Machines, the makers of the Foodini. Also, gravity works a little bit against them, as food doesn't hold the shape as well as plastic. Beyond the novelty factor, the reason for Foodini is to help prepare the more difficult and time-consuming portions of making dinner, which in turn makes the makers hope will encourage more cooking at home and healthier eating, like pizza. For those who want an entire meal made from Foodini, Natural Machines is working with food manufacturers to offer prepackaged plastic capsules that only need be loaded in the 3D printer. However, they'll be free of preservatives and have a short shelf life of just 5 days. Well, all right. At present, Foodini prints out raw food that needs to be cooked, so there's no built-in easy bake oven feature, though something like that could be introduced in the future. I would think that they would make them, if they're in stainless steel, they would make it so they have a long shelf life. If you got to make it in 5 days from the time you buy it.
You know, you pack them with too many preservatives, and you got the people who are against, GMO preservative, cancer-causing, have you food.
No preservatives. It's just the raw material, but it's sealed in a stainless steel. It's like cans. It doesn't spoil as long as it's in the.
Well, maybe that type of storage doesn't lend well to what they're going after.
Well, evidently not, because they're not doing it that way. Hey, we're at the bottom of the hour. You listen to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, and the IRN Radio Network. Ben and I are doing computer news, technology news, brought to you by Satilities. We got a News Tips Bulletin review from Marty Winston coming up. Stay tuned for more Computer America. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission is to protect and enhance the lives of companion animals and the people who love them. Their no-kill rescue shelter is open year-round, making it easy for people to adopt their best new friend. This year, Brother Wolf will find homes for over 2,400 orphan dogs, puppies, cats, and kittens. All have ended up as an orphan through no fault of their own. Brother Wolf has created a safe, nurturing environment where these special animals can heal emotionally and physically until they find a lifelong home. Their life-saving transport program brings dogs and puppies from overcrowded shelters in the south to rescues in the north where homes are easier to find. Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is a 501c3 organization. To learn more about their life-saving work and to make a donation, visit their website at www.bwar.org. That's www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-866-663-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels. 663-MY-TV. Right now, to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and up to 4 rooms. And there's no DVR upgrade and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV. Disable the cable, cut costs, and get more. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV.
Whoa now, it's Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the True Temper Scratch-Free Snow Brush. EVA foam is only coincidentally about extravehicular activities. It's the foam in those spinning slappers when you go to a car wash, and it's also how they did away with brush bristles on the new True Temper Scratch-Free Snow Brush from the Ames companies. We got the 32-inch model. It also comes in 28 and 36-inch lengths. The business end has 4 layers of foam, total about 5/8 of an inch thick, and a long bottom blade that wraps around the end and for a few inches over the top. The end and top are shaped to handle rearview mirrors and wiper wells and cleaning things most brushes can't reach. The main blade offers an interesting parlay of stiffness and flexibility that can be effective against most snow, even wet snow, when you take advantage of the midway grip on its oval metal shaft for leverage. For ice, the tail end has a hard polycarbonate icebreaker and scraper. We've seen bristle damage to windshields and the body on earlier cars, so it's cool to see that this is bristle-free. Bottom line, the True Temper scratch-free snow brush will be a welcome rider in our car this winter. This is Marty Winston with the News Tips Bullet Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. So glad you could join us. 33 minutes past the hour. That was Marty Winston with the News Tip Bulletin Review. And I know, one more day. So sad. I don't like change. This is going to be rough on me. For everyone who doesn't know, Addison in the chat room, who has been monitoring the chat room for years upon years untold before the internet was born, for Computer America. If you've been in the Computer America chat room, in the past 10, 15 years, I don't know how long Addison has even been in there, but he has been the one to greet you, the first one to say hello and to point you in the direction of the archive, show notes, guest website. Help you with anything of that sort. Very, very helpful, and we're gonna miss him.
Yeah, we are. But he did tell me, he said, from time to time he'll poke in there just to say hi, and we certainly will. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not gone. He's just gone from us.
Yeah. Well, no, not completely. Yeah, he said he'll be
Not
back.
completely.
But taking over the mantle of the director and of moderating the chat room will be Star Fortress.
Yes, Fort the Usurper. Yes.
And he will be changing his handle to Star Fortress CCA, and that'll be after on Monday when Addison leaves. But yes, we'll miss you, Addison.
Yeah. Because on the internet, no one knows you're a spaceship. So, but getting back to what we're doing right now, actually, and not, crying about the future in our sleep, is we are doing computer and technology news, brought to you by Slimmer Utilities. And, this one just happened a little while ago, I want to say about 3 weeks ago, where Home Depot was hacked.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
It made a lot of people mad. So, but here's what the report says happened to that whole hacking, because, we knew it was big, we just never heard how big. And this one from Time Tech, and it says that Home Depot hackers exposed 53 million email addresses.
Wow.
That's a pretty big number. I don't know how many people had access to 53 million email addresses. So they also stole information from 56 million credit cards. See, I would have put that as a headline. I feel like credit card information is more pertinent than emails. I don't know. So the Home Depot hack was even worse than authorities originally thought, according to a new report. Along with compromising 56 million card accounts, the hackers also exposed 53 million customer email addresses. 2 months ago, it wasn't 3 weeks ago, it was 2 months ago. The hackers accessed the retailer system through usernames and passwords they stole from a refrigeration contractor's electronic billing account. Target and other companies have been infiltrated in a similar fashion. Authorities who investigated the Home Depot incident revealed the full scope of the hack to the Wall Street Journal Thursday. That would be today. The Home Depot hackers took aim at 7,500 of the company's self-checkout lanes. The software hid itself for 5 months, collecting data and transmitting it to an outside system.
So
this just goes to show you real quick that this was not a day zero hack. This was not a SQL injection. This was not, ghosting, bugging, anything like that. This was good old-fashioned social engineering. They took a password from one of the contractors. This Home Depot had no way of protecting themselves from this because this was on the part of the contractor. And then they gained access through the system by the information they provided to the contractor.
So this only they gained access through the self-serve counters.
They were able to put in their malicious software into the self-checkout lanes of Home Depot. So if you ever, and they have those everywhere now. So if you ever used a self-checkout lane, 5 months prior to 2 months ago, so within the last 7 months, the software is on there to collect your email address, your credit card, your member ID, things like that. So they injected it into the software of the self-checkout line.
Wow.
It wasn't just like a card scanner that someone broke into the hardware and installed in place of it. This was a back end software
Wow.
hacking.
Wow. Well, now, what did they do with the information though? Have they been able to?
I mean, I assume it goes to where general credit card numbers go to, which is like a darknet kind of deal. Like they go up on a think back alley auctions where people say, hey, I have access to 100,000 credit card numbers. How about you give me $2,000 and I'll give you all 100,000 credit card numbers. It's that kind of thing. The hackers get the information and then they sell it piecewise out to whoever wants to buy that kind of information.
And maybe it's hopefully the buyers are government trying to track them down.
Usually it doesn't happen that way. Usually the buyers are people who want to do identity theft, credit card fraud, that kind of thing. So again, if you haven't checked lately, I'm sure you've heard about it, but if you've used the self-checkout lane in the past 7 months and you aren't sure, might want to go back and check for any of those. They start with small charges and then they start adding up. So keep an eye on it because this was a very serious and very prolific hacking.
Yeah, exactly.
And the worst part is Home Depot really couldn't have done much to avoid it because they weren't hacked directly. They were hacked through one of their contractors, and the contractor had the responsibility to keep their credentials secure, and that just didn't happen. So it's not like Home Depot had they just didn't install a firewall. Not even that. It was just that's just like your kid going out and telling everyone your password, and then you get hacked because of it. They couldn't really do much to avoid it.
So they weren't really they weren't at fault.
Even if they weren't at fault, it was still their customers that got compromised. So it doesn't matter who's at fault. If it's your credit card and your information that got hacked, you're pointing the finger at who you gave it to. And these people gave it to Home Depot, and so Home Depot is ultimately at fault.
Okay. Well, as you said, if you use the Home Depot self-serve, you want to keep an eye on your account, or make a change or change the card. That's certainly. This is a short one from CNET, but I kind of like it. Amazon Echo. The Amazon Echo is the name of the speaker, but it's just not a speaker. It's a voice-controlled smart speaker. And this Amazon Echo, it looks like a cylinder, a little black cylinder with a little bluish light ring around the top. Actually looks very attractive. It's a voice-activated, cloud-connected speaker for your living room. Now it has 7 microphones embedded in the top of its 9.2-inch tower-like design, and it promises to hear you from anywhere in the room. So, for example, you could ask it to stream your favorite music, or ask it to set an alarm, or ask it for information, and it promises to respond in kind. Amazon unveiled its new little toy today at an introductory cost of $199. Okay. So if you're an Amazon Prime member, you'll be able to buy the Echo for $99 in the coming weeks. Although anybody who wants to buy one, they need to request an invitation to do so from Amazon. Okay. Now, Amazon claims you can put its speaker anywhere in the room and still talk to it without needing to shout. To wake it up, you'll address it as Alexa for the system's wake word.
Alexa?
Alexa. Could have been Jarvis.
Yeah, I think they're going for like a human name like Siri.
Yeah. Oh, Jarvis is a human name. That's what
Like
Iron.
Jarvis or Siri, take your human name.
From there, simply give it a command or ask it a question. Your options run the usual gamut of virtual assistant capabilities, from weather forecasts to Wikipedia entries, integration with cloud-based music streaming services. It's compatible with Amazon Music, Prime Music, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn. It adds another layer of functionality, given that Echo boasts immersive sound from its speaker system. In addition to streaming music over Wi-Fi, Echo promises to stream music from your phone or tablet over Bluetooth. That brings service like Spotify and Pandora into play too. Now, Echo comes with a remote with an additional built-in microphone and music playback and volume controls. It also works with a free companion app for Fire OS and Android, along with desktop and iOS browsers. From the app interface, you'll be able to manage Echo's alarms, playlists, shopping lists, and more. Purchase invitations are currently available by request only. Those selected will receive their invitation in the coming weeks. This is a cool little thing. I think neat.
It's and this article I found actually in a couple different websites. I actually just chose this one, but the main thrust of the product is to get you to shop at Amazon more.
How novel! How novel!
I know. Amazon is all about getting you to purchase with Amazon and making it easier. And if they can provide you a small hockey puck or little speaker kind of doodad to make you, all you have to do is say the word, "Hey, I really want to, buy the CD I'm listening to."
Mm-hmm.
Amazon will be more than happy to be the one to provide you with the sale.
Yep. Well, there it is.
So it's, I mean, if it works well and it does what it says, I mean, that can't be a bad thing. So, looks good.
Yeah, it looks good. But as you say, I don't think anything Amazon really sells is like this is just a way to make it easier to buy stuff from Amazon. But that's not a bad thing.
No, I personally, love shopping at Amazon. They 2-day shipping. What's the hate?
Yep.
All right, so, all right. How about this one? This one is this one's a little bit more into the finances, nitty-gritty of it, but it's good news.
Okay.
We like hearing about tech companies making a rebound, doing poorly, and then coming back and rising from the ashes, so to speak. So again, Paul Lilly, Maxim PC. Acer posts a profit for the third consecutive quarter, hires a new CEO.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently the old one was too successful. What a difference a year makes. This time last year, Acer was reporting a $442 million loss, along with an operating loss of $86 million, which attributed to the margin impact of gearing up for the Windows 8.1 sell-in. So fast forward a year, and things are looking up at Acer, reporting a third quarter profit after a tax of $21.38 million, along with the operating income of $36.27. So from a deficit to an income of about $100 million, and with a rebound of about $500 million. So they're doing good. It's the third straight profit quarter for Acer, which also reported consolidated revenue of $2.82 billion, down 7% year over year, but up 5.3% sequentially. I don't know. So, and though Acer didn't provide PC shipment data of its own, the company cited IDC's numbers showing a 13.3% year-on-year rise, which is true across the board. I mean, PC sales are up. That's just, for every company across the board, PC sales are up.
Yeah.
The quote here saying, we're doing good. Acer also found itself a new CEO effective January 1st, 2015. Jason Chen will step into the role as corporate president and CEO. Chen comes to Acer from TSMC, where he was serving as the company's senior vice president of worldwide sales and marketing. It's so weird how these people who fill these roles, like, generally they don't come from internally. They kind of bounce from one company to another and fill the same role. Like very high-powered, executive. You ever notice that? Like of executives.
Yeah.
Strange. So and here they also said that they're very excited for the acquisition of Mr. Chen. So Chen has also held a variety of sales and marketing positions at Intel, where he worked for 14 years. Intel, we're fans of him. Prior to that, he worked at IBM Taiwan from 1988 to 1991. So again, he's very well versed in the tech arena. So yeah, sir. Whoever thought that they were going down in flames a year ago, happy to report they're doing okay.
That's good to hear. That's
Yeah.
good. I'm glad to hear that.
Always good to have more and more people making computers, because competition is good for the consumer and for the products.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. I'm a little reluctant to take this article on here, but because I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it's from Popular Science, and it's entitled "Why Thousands of People Are Willing to Die on Mars." More than 200,000 aspiring space explorers have volunteered for a one-way trip to Mars, and he asked the question, "Are they insane?" I mean, he makes the point that I was trying to make to you, Ben, which I couldn't get you to either agree with, because I said, are these people insane? I said because look, you start off with 7 people going to Mars, and what if somebody gets sick? You know, what are they going to do? They have very little recourse. And you say, well, they're going to send a doctor with them. Yeah, but what if it's a doctor gets sick, or what if he has they need to do an operation which he's not qualified to do? You know, have their appendix taken out. I mean, there's so many bad things that could go on, and it's sort of the thrust of this article. You know, it looks like if you want to go to Mars, you have to be willing to die. You know, or accept that there's that possibility without, you know, from something that would have been normally very benign on the planet Earth. But if it's, you know, you're on a place like Mars, you're in a world of hurt. So it says, early on a Saturday morning, about 60 planetary malcontents gathered in a narrow auditorium. They'd come to hear about a plan to build a self-sustaining colony in space, and hoping to be amongst its first settlers. And they asked the question, how many of you would like to take a one-way trip to Mars? Okay. When nearly everybody raised their hand, the person who asked the question smiled. He said, these were the constituents, the folks who had pledged to serve as guinea pigs for a bold and strange experiment. Just the day before, he had been on CBS This Morning patiently explaining the idea. I just want to make sure that I understand this correctly, the dumbfounded host had said. If you go on this mission, you are going and not coming back. But here at the first ever Million Martian meeting in August 2013, Lansdorp saw only believers. He said, you know, most of the armchair aliens shared a demographic, a young man Marsophile, guys with tattoos across their necks and arms, goatees and mustaches, variations of the Weird Al look. But there were also older women in the room and kids too young to drive. What brought them together was an abiding belief in the central message that humans should be expanding onto other planets, and they should do so now. Okay. You're very quiet. No comment on this, any of this, Ben?
He has the same mentality going into it as you, but he has the open mind to accept that there could be a reason that people are willing to go somewhere and not come back.
Yeah.
It's a bigger idea than just, hey, Jimmy's going out to space, he'll be back in 20 minutes. It's something bigger than that.
Yeah, it is. To be part of something bigger. but you're going to take a risk. I mean, I guess it's really no different than the pioneers with their Conestoga wagons, heading to the
It's no
California.
different than the pioneers. It's no different than the people sailing to America from India. It's no different than the Vikings in the 600s sailing to, sailing to North America. It's no different than any other explorer in any other time. It's just that we've explored the Earth, and now it's time to go explore something else.
Hmm.
You can't have that aversion to death just because
No.
you know it's there.
But it's so something so benign as getting appendicitis or something, which would be so easily curable, or something else, and you can't cure it if you're on Mars.
If you were a settler and you accidentally ate meat that expired the day before, and you got a severe case of diarrhea, you died.
But you're not
died. Benign things will kill you. It's fortunately we have the technology and we have the knowledge to kind of minimize that as much as possible. But I mean, it's inevitable.
Yeah. Of course, Addison brings up a good point. Says those explorers were interested in greed. They were going for gold. They're heading for California or free land. He says Mars trip is just pure exploration. Because
it's not just pure exploration. I mean, let's face it. When someone goes to Mars, who are they going to listen to? Are they going to listen to the guy back on Earth saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, you're using our technology, and we own what you're living in," or are they going to listen to their own little society that they have going on there?
Because even if you found diamonds on Mars or something, gold, whatever, you couldn't spend it. You're stuck on Mars and with no way to get it back. You couldn't even call Federal Express to ship it back to your home or something, to your relatives.
What's the thing that people always say about buying property? It's like, you can always make more, whatever, but they are not making any more land.
That's true.
Mars is more land, new land.
Yeah, but you can't breathe there. It's
not yet.
Yeah, no.
On it.
I'm in awe of people who would go there.
But can you see why? They're not asking. They're not asking Craig Crossman, would you go? They're not. No one's asking that. Mm-hmm. They're asking, can you see why and the need?
And the why and the need is what?
The why is to get humans off of Earth.
Yes.
Humans are, yes, we started on Earth. Yes, we are simply creatures on it. But humans have that capability of becoming interstellar, hence the movie and that whole discussion that everyone's having. Humans have the ability to be a multi-planet, multi-solar system,
mm-hmm.
species. We have that ability. It's not science fiction. It's completely possible.
Mm-hmm.
Completely. And we just need to take a first step, so why can't that first step be in 2030?
Would you go?
Would I go?
Yeah.
I mean, there are much better candidates, but I can see the appeal of going. So yes.
Yeah.
I can see the appeal in going.
It's
something greater than you, and very, very rarely do you get. I mean, like, other than world wars, you really don't get the chance to say, okay, this is greater than myself, my family, my country. This is something greater.
Mm.
Very rarely do you get that opportunity to say that.
Well, they're picking candidates already now?
They sent in the video. Like, you had to submit your application, your video application, with like $140, which weeded out all the all the trolls, because you don't want people just saying, "Oh, I'll go. I'm really good at semantics." It weeded all those out, and they whittled it down to a strong 2,000 candidates, and now they are vetting even those out to a strong 40 candidates that would definitely be going.
Are they going to have? They have to have some sort of specialty area. I mean,
they're going to, and again, the first man mission is planned for 2030.
Yeah.
They're going to be receiving training in agriculture and engineering and medicine and in a wide variety of things. Everything you could possibly cram into a person in 15 years.
So they're going to have 15 years worth of training for this.
Yep.
And while they're training of this, are they going to be paid? Is it going to their paid salaries? Or do they still have to have other jobs?
Can't imagine that they'd be on contract for the entire 15 years. You know, it'd probably be some kind of, you know, hey, you're going to Mars, report every second weekend for training. But, I mean, eventually,
Yeah.
you know, they're going to be paid by being shipped off to Mars and not have to worry about money anymore.
Well, they won't need dental either or insurance. That's the
No, not really. Everything's going to be provided to them as best as possible.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, you know, I wish.
Again, no one's asking you to go. They're asking for you to understand why people would want to go.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm still having a hard time with that, but you know, how old are these people? But I guess it has to be with a certain age range too.
90 seconds.
So.
Yeah, the age range. I think the people who were accepted into the application were accepted between early 20s to late 20s, early 30s. Okay. So people going would be in the age range of, you know, late 30s, early 40s.
Okay. Well, that about wraps up the show tonight. Now, tomorrow we're going to have, Ben's going to be co-hosting with me, but also we're going to have his brother Aaron Crossman's going to be joining us because we're going to be talking to Michael Wendy, and Michael is
60 seconds.
Has something called media freedom, and we're going to be talking about net neutrality and the intricacies of that, and how you and I will be impacted by net neutrality. And it's going to be a very interesting conversation in the first hour. And then, of course, in hour 2, computer technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. So that about wraps it up. Again, thanks to YouBeam for being with us here tonight, and Darren Stabinsky, the CEO of the company. Thank you for telling us about the YouBeam product. And Ben and I will see you tomorrow night. So until tomorrow night, oh, and Aaron too, this is Craig Crossman hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow night.
10 seconds.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, thanks everybody.
Why won't you call Aaron your son?
He's my son.
Well, you keep calling him Ben's brother.
Well, he's your brother and my son. All right.
You seem to be admitting that one an awful lot.
Thanks for watching us on our live Computer America video streaming page, and we'll see you tomorrow night with my son and Ben's brother, Aaron Crossman. and
Ben's brother, by the way, is not a very impressive title.
and the mediafreedom.org with us. Have a good evening. See you tomorrow night.